Hey everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving deep into the highly profitable and honestly totally fascinating world of building AI FAQ systems. We're going to break down exactly how companies are using AI to solve their absolute biggest, most expensive bottleneck. Yep, customer support. And more importantly, we'll look at why these businesses are happily paying monthly retainers for someone just like you to set it all up for them. Let's get right into it.
Imagine this. You open your company's shared support inbox on a random Tuesday morning, and staring back at you are exactly 147 unanswered tickets, just sitting there. Now, picture the support lead. Let's call it Dan. Dan is exhausted, looking at a spreadsheet that is basically just a giant wall of red, flagging 94 overdue tasks. He quietly admits he literally cannot see a way the team will ever catch up. Dan desperately needs a vacation. Look, this isn't some made-up hypothetical. This exact nightmare plays out in small and mid-sized businesses every single day. And the crazy part? They aren't drowning because of some massive super complex crisis. No, they're drowning slowly, suffocating under the weight of dozens of identical, repetitive questions just piling up day after day.
But what if we could flip the script? Imagine dropping that exact backlog by 60% in just 6 weeks, using smart, highly targeted AI automation. And here's the absolute kicker. You can do this without needing a massive, expensive engineering team. No way, right? Actually, yes way. As we'll see today, businesses are pulling off incredible results, like taking their average resolution times from 11 brutal hours down to literally mere seconds. And to be clear, they aren't doing this to just fire everyone and replace human workers. Not at all. They're doing it to clear the junk out of the way so their human teams can finally focus on those tricky, high-value issues instead of typing out the answer to the same 6 questions over and over again.
So here is our action plan for today's Explainer. We'll start with the customer support nightmare, move into how AI FAQ systems work, walk through the step-by-step setup process, talk about packaging as a service, look at the workflow partner model, and wrap up with how you can start building your agency.
Let's kick things off with Section 1, the customer support nightmare and why businesses are drowning.
Like we talked about, businesses are just getting buried under mind-numbing queries. Things like, where is my order, or how do I return this? It's endless. But just look at this slick FCB banking assistant handling a routine balancing query. It's instant. When you deploy generative AI and actually integrate it with a company's database, the results will absolutely blow your mind. Real-world case studies are showing that within just 3 months, bots like these can handle over 60% of all customer inquiries entirely on their own. No human intervention needed. That translates directly to a 30% reduction in support costs and a nice 15% bump in overall customer satisfaction because, hey, people love getting instant answers.
Moving right along to Section 2, how AI FAQ systems work. Let's demystify the tech stack.
Okay, don't let this intimidate you. This is the proven technology stack. You have to remember, in real-world AI applications, sheer speed usually matters way more than complex perfection. Users expect answers in like 1 to 2 seconds max. To get that kind of lightning-fast performance, you can think of Next.js or React as your sleek, welcoming storefront. Then Python is basically the super-organized manager working in the back office. And your vector database, like Pinecone, is this perfectly categorized instant recall filing cabinet. When you connect all of that to LLM APIs like OpenAI, you get an incredibly seamless, high-performance experience that just works.
Now, when you get to the AI intelligence layer, you're definitely going to hear a ton of debate about RAG versus fine-tuning. Let's keep it really simple. Think of RAG, which stands for Retrieval-Augmented Generation, as giving the AI an open book test. It literally searches your client's specific, up-to-date documents in real time right before it answers a question. Fine-tuning, on the other hand, is basically forcing the AI to memorize everything by altering its underlying weights. For about 80% of business cases, RAG is the absolute perfect solution. Why? Because it's so much cheaper to set up. We're talking typically between $15,000 and $40,000, compared to fine-tuning, which can easily blow past $80,000. Plus, with RAG, you can update your knowledge base every single day without ever having to go through the headache of retraining the whole model.
All right, Section 3, the step-by-step setup process, how we actually build the system. The golden rule here is you don't start by boiling the ocean. You start by targeting the absolute most painful bottlenecks first. Here is your exact, super beginner-friendly 5-step framework. First up, just export the last 100 customer support messages. Second, group those messages into 5 to 7 broad categories. Third, pinpoint the 2 categories that hold the most highly repetitive questions. Fourth, sit down and write the absolute perfect ideal response for each of those scenarios. And finally, step 5, you train your AI agent using those specific perfect examples and publish them to a simple help center. It sounds too easy, right? But this targeted setup alone usually slashes ticket volume by 30 to 40% in just the first 2 weeks. It's a total game changer.
Let's jump into Section 4, Packaging as a Service, and how we actually monetize your builds.
I want you to really listen to this quote. Backlog isn't caused by complexity, it's caused by repetition. That hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? And it highlights exactly why businesses desperately need your system, and not just for today, but every single month. Think about it. Business information isn't static. Shipping policies change, new products launch, and the types of repetitive queries constantly evolve. If you just build a system once, hand it over, and walk away, that thing is going to be completely obsolete in a matter of months.
And that brings us to the pricing. This comparison clearly shows why the smartest agencies out there use a hybrid pricing approach. If you rely purely on project-based models, you're signing up for highly unpredictable feast or famine revenue. It's stressful. Instead, the move is to charge a setup fee, usually ranging anywhere from $2,500 to over $15,000 to cover the custom build and integration. But then, and this is absolutely critical, you transition the client to a recurring monthly retainer, averaging between $500 and $8,000 a month. This strategy gives you that great, quick cash injection up front, while simultaneously building a highly predictable, rock-solid revenue stream for ongoing system tuning.
Next up, Section 5, the Workflow Partner Model. It's time to shift your mindset. So, a typical AI consultant drops off a one-time project, solves a single problem, and hits the road. Honestly, that's a broken pattern where everybody loses. The client usually has no idea how to maintain the system long-term, and the consultant is stuck on the hamster wheel constantly hunting for new work. But a workflow partner actually embeds themselves into the company's operations. They own the operational outcomes. They actively monitor the performance, update the documents, and ensure the entire system sustains flawless execution over time. It's a totally different ballgame.
And this is exactly why clients realize that the initial point of sale is really just the beginning. They will happily pay you monthly because intelligent tools literally require continuous investment. You're in there providing ongoing prompt tuning so the AI always sounds perfectly on brand. You're updating the vector database with their latest PDFs, new pricing, and updated policies. You're identifying predictive maintenance opportunities and making sure everything stays secure and compliant. You're basically transforming their static products into dynamic platforms that get smarter and more valuable every single month.
Finally, Section 6, start building your agency. Your exact next steps.
Okay, so how do you take this blueprint, cut through all the noise, and actually land your very first client? Well, first things first, do not be a generalist. Pick a specific vertical niche where manual bottlenecks are just painfully obvious. Think e-commerce companies handling endless order tracking, or healthcare clinics managing tedious patient onboarding. And second, focus entirely on value, not vanity metrics. When you're talking to a prospect, please, whatever you do, do not overwhelm them with the technical complexities of LLMs or vector databases. They really don't care about the plumbing. Sell them on the 30% reduction in support costs. Sell them on ending their employees' burnout. Sell them on giving their customers instant 24/7 satisfaction. That is what they are buying.
When you are out there pitching, asking which customer issue wastes most of your team's time is the ultimate golden gateway question to uncovering a client's deepest pain points. But before we wrap up, I have a question for you. Now that you have the complete blueprint, you understand the tech stack, and you know exactly how the pricing model works, what is stopping you from going out, finding your first client, and building your first highly profitable AI system today? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Now get out there, take action, and start building.